All right, everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do braking burns in 3.10. Let's say we want to stop at this station here. I'm just going to show it to you first, and then I'll talk about how to do it. All right, so I'm going to do my braking burn. So here we go. Cruise control off, boost on, flip around, put the TVI in the right spot, and counter thrust, and there we go. So I stopped pretty damn close to the station, so I would say that was successful. Okay, so here we're going to talk about it. So, you guys might remember, or I guess some of you might remember, I did a post on this, I think a year or two ago, and it has changed a little bit as the flight model has changed a couple times since 3.5. The biggest change I would say is that because of ramp down jerk, it's now a really good idea to counter thrust. If your goal is to just, you're flying in space, you want to stop really quickly, you want to use counter thrust. Okay. And you also don't want to do it like straight, like a straight, basically flip and burn. So this is what I think a lot of people do. I'll show you. This is the less fast way. So I'm going to turn cruise control off. I'm going to hit boost, or sorry, afterburner. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to find my ATVI. That's the direction I'm coming from, that little symbol there. See how it was like, I think 19.1. Or no, it was 18.1. Here, let me do it again. I'm sorry, guys. Let me do a quick flip and burn, and I'll try it again. Yeah, 18.1. So that was lower than when I did it the first time because it's not using all of the thrusters you could possibly use. So I'll show you how to use all the thrusters. So if you think about it, actually, I'll use this. So you got like your main thrusters here, and they are the strongest on pretty much every ship. But you've also got like these other thrusters, and if you don't use those, you're not using all the thrust you could possibly use. So that's why you don't want to go straight when you do your counter thrust. You want to angle your ship so it's like this or something against the vector that you were currently on. Okay. So here we go. I'll show you. So I want you to watch the ATVI. It looks a lot like this, except the carrots are pointed outward. And you want to put that in a specific spot so that you can maximize all three axes of thrust. So I'll do it again real quick. All right, so holding. And I'm just using the keyboard here to like show that it doesn't matter what control scheme you use. All right, so I'm holding shift because that's obvious. And I want to do that and let go of W before I turn, because I want to also start to use my retros, and then I don't have to worry about them or overheat as much if I also use my retros at the very beginning of the flip and burn. So letting off W, rotating, and see that ATVI? I want to put it somewhere around there for the Gladius. It's going to change depending on your ship. Okay? And that's what, if you looked at my my G meter, I'm sorry I forgot to mention it, but we can just do it again. You'll see it was like 21 point something, so that's obviously higher than 18. So that is like why I stop faster, is because I have more thrust. Okay, let me try it again. So cruise control off, holding shift, and then let off W. And if you look at that G meter, you'll see 21.7. That's pretty good. All right. So let's see what the max is. What is the maximum thrust I can get? Well, to do that, you can do AW. You hold shift, you do AW and space, and this gives you the maximum performance acceleration, 21.9. Now, it's really hard to do that when you're already moving, because look, if I do it again, or if I turn a little bit and I do it again, see now it's only 21. In coupled mode, it's really hard to do that if you start off already moving. But if you are in decoupled, then it's really easy to do. So I'll show you. I'll start off moving, and then I'll decouple. And then I can do it for as long as I want. So the point of me saying that is that you can also do these braking burns decoupled. It's just a lot more complex because you have to use the space brake at the beginning to basically get the full deceleration in the beginning, and that's also doubly complicated by space brake always using afterburner now, and there's no way to turn that off like there used to be. And not all ships will be able to hold shift for the entire braking maneuver. A lot of them will overheat and you're gonna have to feather it. So by using space brake, there's no way to use the space brake without using boost, so you might overheat yourself. Anyway, doing this decoupled, it's definitely possible, and maybe it could be slightly faster if much more difficult, but I think that's gonna be for another video. For this one, I'm just gonna show you the coupled way, which is super easy. I'm gonna see if I can reduce my thrust meter. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna give me more time to talk through things. So I just reduced the thrust meter down here. So basically everything's gonna take longer. It's gonna seem more like I'm in a larger ship, like a Caterpillar or something, which I considered doing this in, but decided not to. Okay, so cruise control off. I'm holding W, I'm holding shift, right, for my afterburner, and then I'm gonna let off W. And see, I've already started decelerating. I'm gonna rotate so I can move my mains into a position where they can help. All right, see where my TVI is? That's where I want it. And now I'm gonna counter thrust. See how it's only 7.4? That's because I turned my thrust meter down. And then when the TVI collapses, you just let go. So that's pretty much it. All right, so the counter thrust that I mentioned at the end there, that's the big change, I would say, in 3.10. All right, so we're gonna talk about that real quick. So, if I do a braking maneuver, I'm just gonna do it straight ahead here. You'd see, look, I'm doing 2.0, 2.0, 2.0, 2.0. Watch what happens at the end. See how it fades out, right? Okay, now watch what happens when I do it, but I'm holding S now, so I'm holding throttle backward. So now I'm holding S. It looks the same right now, right? But watch what happens as I approach 0. See how it doesn't fade out, and then I can just let go. So that's the ramp down, right? That's the difference between the ramp down, is you got that fade out. All right, so I'm gonna turn my acceleration back up. I'm gonna talk through it one more time. All right, cruise control off. I've got my boost. All right, and I want to stop as quickly as possible, like I'm coming at that station, right? And I want to stop so I can land at the station. So I'm gonna let off my throttle, rotate, put the ATVI in that corner, and then I'm gonna counter thrust so it doesn't ramp down. And you saw how I got pretty close to overheating and G-locking, right? So you're gonna have to vary this depending on your ship. Not only are you gonna have to vary your ATVI position, because it depends on the relative strength of your thrust axes where it ends up being. It might be over here or something. But you also need, if you are overheating when you do this maneuver, you need to like let off the afterburner momentarily so you don't overheat. Because if you overheat, then you lose all thrust, and that's going to definitely make your braking maneuver much slower. And you don't want that. Okay. Hopefully that made sense to you all. I will demonstrate one more time what I think is maybe not the fastest way to do a braking maneuver. You could probably do it slightly faster if you do it perfectly and decoupled, but practically it's probably the fastest, because I don't think it's going to be very easy to pull this off decoupled with consistency. All right, cruise control off. So, I want to stop. So, okay, boost, let off my throttle, find the ATVI in the upper corner, and then counter thrust, and then let go once my ATVI collapses. All right, hope that helps some of you, and have a good day.